been on the podium this year, and he was fabulous because he brought his play sheet. I mean, we've got laminated and highlighted. And
you should see our house. I mean, once a coach, always a coach, guys. There's a game plan for everything. Highlighters, pens, different colored pens.
PJ Fleck is with us, entering year 9. Coach, as the head coach of the Gophers mentioned, have had incredible success, including all those postseason victories. Why has this been such a great fit for you? I mean, you're looking at now one of the longest tenured coaches at any school in the Big Ten. Why has Minnesota been the right place for you?
That's a great question, Dave. It comes down to people. We always talk about places and universities and names of places, but behind those names of places are people. We're the longest head coach tenured AD combination in the country with Mark Coyle and myself. And I think our visions and our alignment are aligned. I think we have a lot of the same beliefs in what we want to see in a college football program. I think we both believe in the life program. And him sticking around for 10 years has been really good for me because we haven't had to go through that boss change or that athletic department change. And I think that's part of it and maybe one of the major parts of why we're still there.
You know, it's pretty interesting when I look at that postseason success. And I know people want to minimize bowl games and whatever. But to me, what it says is, hey, you get to that point in the season and your guys are still bought in. They're still, and that's a big accomplishment in this day and age. So what does it say about your program? Like, what does that tell you more broadly?
I just think it shows that our kids love playing ball. With all the changes of college football, of what you see, it's still going out there for 3 hours and playing your best football as a connected football team. And I think our guys do a really good job of that. Any opportunity they have to play, they play. And they take every game like it truly, truly matters. And it doesn't matter if it's postseason, doesn't matter if it's non-conference, conference. They have limited opportunities to play football. Some will never play past college, so they've got to maximize every opportunity they possibly can, and they love playing. And that goes back to what we're talking about with multiplying talents. I mean, these guys come in, and they want other people to be really successful. We're finding a value system that fits for our program. Not saying it fits for everybody, but fits for us. And now with the expansion of the Big Ten, we're allowed to go from East Coast to West Coast, North to South, to find those 25 to 30 players in high school that really fit the value system we're looking for. And part of that is, do you love ball or not? And our guys love ball. They love other areas of their life too, don't get me wrong, but they love ball.
Coach, few house cleaning matters. When you were at the podium, you said what a great job, or how your players enjoyed the dinners that were going on out here. Then you mentioned that you were also going to see Howard later on at one of their. It was not me. So
Howard, I just need you to know that Howard got a lot of knowing glances.
Yes,
when you said that people were like, didn't know how multidimensional.
They didn't know he does that on the side. They didn't know that little side hustle.
Yeah, Coach, I think you always talk about the pillars and really what makes your program, the strength of your program. And you added one. You know, you talked about delusion a little bit today. Can you go into more of that for us?
Yeah, well, first, just a connected team's a dangerous team. And if you have empathy, right, and you have gratitude, you can connect the locker room. From there, then you can start talking about things that are bigger and better. The standard's always the standard. My job is to continue to raise the expectations each year to where this program can go. If we want to go to the college football playoff one day, which every team in here does, whether they want to talk about it and get a sound piece or not, everybody wants to do that 1 through 18. You have to know how you can go do that. And for us, we use the word delusional because we haven't done it yet. We haven't won a national championship and been in that hunt since the 60s. So we have to think a little outside the box. That doesn't mean, to Dave's point, that 8-9 wins isn't really good. It's really hard to win 8-9 games in a 9-game conference schedule in the Big Ten. But I want our players to always think bigger, always. And one day, if a head coach, you set the expectation higher than you can actually achieve, and you're the one doing that, so be it. We're all in this profession to get hired, to get fired. But at the end of the day, we've been there 9 years. We know what type of team we have. We know which teams you can talk about those things to and not. And we've had those conversations about what we can do. Take the lid off the jar. No limitations. Let's see what we can do. Let's dream really big and find a way to see what we can get out of this football team.
Okay, I want to double down on that, because when I heard you say be delusional, I thought about like all of our kids. Like there's a point where you're like, okay, I want to go work at Disneyland. I want to be delusional. I want to dream big.
Yeah.
We're in a sport now that is very transactional. So how do you talk to your team about still having those joyful dreams in a transactional sport and make sure that they can dream about some of those things that maybe they thought about when they first took their visit and walked into that stadium?
Yeah, Yogi, that's a great question because coaches it comes from the word stagecoach, right? Take important people from where they are to where they want to be. Every kid that comes into our program, I sit down with them and say, where do you want to go? Like, where do you want us to take you? What's your dreams, right? And that sounds a little corny and maybe coach-seek, but it's not. At the end of the day, that's why you're in this profession. Somebody asked me earlier, why do you do this? I said, to take people from where they were to where they dream of being. That's exciting. Somebody did that with me. Jim Tressel, Mike Nolan did that with me, literally did that with me. And you want to be able to continue to pay that forward and do those types of things. But it's going to take delusional thought, outside the box, things that haven't been done. Always start with the crazy idea. And if we're going to go to the college football playoff, that's obtainable. We were 8-5 this year, but we were 3-4 in one-possession games. When we won 11 games, which that'll get you to the college football playoff in the Big Ten, we were 6-1 in one-possession games in 2019. So it's not like we're talking about things that can't happen. You just have to do things better and know what you have to get better at to close that gap. And for us, 2-minute, 4-minute, situational football, being able to finish a game with 5.5 minutes to go when we could have Muhammad Ibrahim do that. What we struggled with, Muhammad, was we had a hard time playing catch-up if we were behind. We've got to be able to do both. End the game on offense in the run game, get the ball back on defense, end the game in 2 minutes if we have to do that on both sides of the ball. And we have a chance to win one-possession games. We have a chance as good as anybody.
Yeah, I think one of the keys, I think you'd agree, is great quarterback play, being able to really distribute the football and be a leader. Talk to me a little bit about how your quarterback has developed and grown since last year.
Well, Max Brosmer's gift to the program just keeps on giving because what he did with Drake Lindsay and basically put him as the side cart and just have him ride around with him the entire time he was here. That helped Drake tremendously. And it's not just about the quarterback position. It was about how to lead the entire organization, how to lead the team, how to get your resources, which are your weapons around you, to want to play for you. It's no secret Drake's a redshirt freshman. There's going to be some ups and there's going to be some bumpy roads. But what our supporting cast has to understand is you're there to pull those guys through that. And for Drake to get them to want to do that, you got to be able to connect them off the field. And that's where Drake flourishes. Took a bunch of guys down to Pensacola, Florida, paid for their way down there, spent a week down there. He's golfing with people every single day during the summer or every single week, bringing by guys into things that he likes, and he's always in our building. And he's leading from the front as a young redshirt freshman, which is very difficult to do without that proof. So you better be authentic and real if you're doing it, and Drake is.
We've had a couple of your games last year and sat down with Darius Taylor, and he talked about how you taught him how to be vulnerable. You talked at the podium about empathy, gratitude, being vulnerable, those elements. What are conversations like with him now, heading into a critical third year for him in your program?
Yeah, I think it's about the versatility he is as a human being, as a football player. How can he take all the blessings he has and maximize those on and off the field? And I think that's where he's flourishing. He's such an amazing human being. If you know him, you know he loves cars. Right? He loves cars, from Detroit, Michigan. And it's a good time, Howard, to like cars as a college athlete.
Yes, it is.
If you liked cars back in our day when you were a college athlete, too bad, so sad.
Just
get on your bike and ride.
You could detail him like you did. Yeah.
Dr. Detail is our mobile detailing company we had in college. Absolutely. But I just watch this evolution of a young man that you know, such an amazing human being. Really just see life for what it is, maximize every opportunity he has, make as many connections as he can off the field, and really set himself up for the rest of his life. He's going to play a lot of football for a long time, guys. But this guy, we're all going to be working for Darius Taylor somehow, some way, someday. So he's a phenomenal human being.
Been a long time since you've had to replace a kicker and a punter. Yeah. I know special teams are near and dear to your heart. Talk about how that development and what that's going to look like come the fall.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because that really determines whether you lead the conference in fourth down attempts or you're kicking some field goals. Same with the punt category. If we're going for it, we're punting more. We got 4 guys I feel really good at the punt position that we're going to have an open competition here in training camp. Somebody will win that within the first few weeks. And then we've got 2 guys in the kicking department that I think between Daniel and Brady, one of those guys will win the job. Brady has experience kicking at Syracuse, working for Coach Bob Ligashevsky. And then this Daniel Jackson kid, I'm just telling you, he's a true freshman. I knew this kid 5 years ago, and this kid's from Alexandria, Minnesota. He runs like a 500-meter dash. We might have some fakes coming from the field goal kicker. Okay. It might not be the kicks. It might be just normal offensive plays in a kicking formation. But he's always dreamed of being a Gopher. He's a fabulous human being, really good person, really good kicker, and that competition is going to be fun to watch.
Okay, talking about special teams, we got to talk about Coy Parrish, because what you set up there, I think, caught a lot of attention. Him playing offense. Like, what can we expect from this superstar, but still young talent on your roster?
Well, I think when we talked about that earlier in the winter, people are like, yeah, it's probably gimmicky, just a bunch of screens, some handoffs, a reverse. We're doing a lot of things with them since January. We said, if you're going to do this, we're going to do this. Like, you're going to be a wide receiver. You're going to be a wildcat quarterback as well as safety. It's not just going to be something you do in your spare time. He has worked tremendously hard, not just on the required work that we're making him do, but the unrequired to make himself a really good pass catcher and a really good receiver. That doesn't mean we don't have really good weapons on the outside. I think we do. I think we have a lot of maybe not as well-known talent on the outside. We have really good tight ends, maybe the best and most, the most athletic offensive line we had. We're deep at running back. That supporting cast has to help Drake have a really good year, and Coy can help that wide receiver unit really make plays on the outside, which will be fun to watch.
Hey, Coach, one last question for you. We haven't really talked about defense other than talking about Coy. Your defense was so good last year. You got a new defensive coordinator. You promoted Danny Collins, has been with you the whole time you've been at Minnesota. What made it the right fit to maybe have some continuity there and continue to play elite-level defense?
Yeah, as a head coach, if you have a really good year, I think it's easier to have continuity and you hire from within because it makes sense. A few years ago, I didn't think we played that well on defense, and we went outside for the change because I didn't want the players thinking, here comes the same thing. You have to make those types of decisions. We played great defense last year. Danny Collins has coached every single position on our defensive side of the ball. He's been with me 13 years. He knows the defense like the back of his hand. And with all due respect, Coach Rossi is a tremendous defense coordinator. Corey Heatherman's awesome, right? Ed Pinkham, phenomenal. It's still our defense. For 13 years, we haven't really changed in our defensive philosophy and the type of defense. But the fingerprint of who's calling it is a little bit different. And Danny Collins names it the Havoc defense. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, a lot of versatility, a lot of athletes, and a lot of depth. It's going to be fun to see how that all comes together. But you talk about somebody who went from sleeping in a janitor closet to Big Ten defensive coordinator in a short amount of time. He paid his dues. He's a phenomenal football coach. He's going to do a great job.
A great story. Look forward to seeing you guys up there. One of our early stops on the campus tour coming up here in just over a week or so. PJ Fleck, thanks a lot, Coach. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you dropping by.
Always a pleasure. See you another year. Roll the boat, Scotty Ma. Go Gophers.